Greetings, Tony from Old River Hardgoods again. Well, the music you're listening to is Angel's March. My fourth CD, Eternity Bridge. As always, links to the video I made of it, and the full version of the song are down in the description. In today's video, we're going to take a look at some of the collectible and a few uncommon tools that have come through the shop over the past few months. It gives me a chance to catch up, clean up on the archives, and just generally overall have some fun. So sit back and enjoy. Well, here we have kind of an interesting little caliper. I recently showed this in one of my flea market find segments. Speaking of patina, this is kind of an unusual multi-inside outside divider type caliper. That's going to take some work, but well, we'll see. And as you can see, it was pretty crusty, although at the time I thought it was steel, not brass, as it turned out. And of course, the combination, it's a inside caliper. It's about 2 inches long. Overall, it's kind of, as I have it sitting here, about 3 5/8 inches. Got divider points there. No maker's mark on it. I'm kind of thinking this was user made, but I'll tell you what, there's a lot of work into this guy. And there's some patina. The scuff marks are from left over from when it was made, because I didn't really bang on it that hard unless somebody cleaned this guy previously, but I did use the wheel to loosen up some of the more caked on grime. Unfortunately, with brass polish doesn't always want to take it off. Even with steel wool, I mean, you spend 2 hours working on it. But the joints are really tight on it. I mean, they're usable, that's for sure. And points, but I don't know, I thought it was a pretty neat tool, and didn't last too long, thankfully. Sometimes with this stuff you never know, but used to be any brass tool like this I could fly out on eBay and just have it disappear within a matter of days. So anyways, another neat and great collectible old tool. Here we're going to take a look at a very rare patented American brace. The jaws on this were patented by William Ives in New Haven, Connecticut. Patent number 301058. Let me take the chuck off here quick. Or chuck shell off quick. I can actually do this one one-handed for a change. There it goes. And you can see the design. Unfortunately, the one does have a crack in it, but stuff happens when you get old. The ratchet, give me a second here. Somebody asked why don't I use a tripod. Well, you can't get really good close-ups with tripods, and I'm always leaving my hands in front of them, and et cetera, et cetera. The ratchet was patented by F.P. Pfluger, or yeah, I guess it's Pfluger. Pflegher. Also New Haven. It's patent number 175151 on March 21st, 1876. And of course, compounding all this is that Charles Amidon patented a similar design in 1883. But it works by rotating this disc, and that engages it. You turn it one way, or then flip it the other way, and it turns the other way. And this is in decent condition. I mean, I did clean it. The shell's got some dings and frosting, and there's a partial patent date on this, but it's pretty hard to see. There's also a model number or something stamped there. Frame's got some frosting. You know, stuff happens when you get old. The grip is black walnut. I think both the grip and the pad are black walnut. The grip's kind of tight. The pad spins freely, but it does have some wear, some chipping and some dings and what have you. But Ronald Pearson, in his book on patented American braces, rates this as a B, which means there's between, as of the time that book was put out back in the 1990s, there were like between 6 and 20 known examples. And while I'm sure a few more have shown up, I just really can't see there being a ton more out there. I knew Ron. He was a really, really nice guy. He was a retired dentist out of Pittsburgh, if I remember correctly. Used to see him at the tool shows, and always very pleasant to talk to. They don't make them like that anymore. But anyways, you know, this is a really, really good collectible brace. Hopefully somebody is going to want it. Well, here we have a set of 3 chisels by the Supple hardware company. They were founded in 1856, and like a number of these hardware companies, they went through a bunch of acquisitions and mergers, and finally merged with the Biddle Company of Philadelphia in 1905. But these do have the Supple hardware mark on them. It's also marked Royal Steel, if you can see that. And depending on when this little video segment is gonna show up, these were some chisels that I kind of rescued from the rain, as you can see here, quick. 3 bevel-edged firmer chisels, 1/8 of an inch, and I don't know the other sizes, but I'll figure them out. It's got this hardware store mark on it. I can't really make out the first part of it, but we'll clean them up. Might sell them as a set, might sell them individually, who knows. And they cleaned up pretty well. There's a little bit of staining patina on them. This one's a 1/8 paring chisel. This one's a 3/8 paring chisel. And a 1/2 inch paring chisel. None of them came with handles. These are part of a set of handles I bought for another project that didn't work out due to some miscommunications with me and the guy that was making them, and I wasn't about to spend money to get any more made, so I just said nuts on it. And they'll show up from time to time as I can use them up, because they do me no good just rotting in a box. But tell you, this is a good set of chisels. Don't know that they made them, but back in those days, they could have been made by Weatherby, Swan, or just about anybody in the business. And, you know, like I'm fond of saying, they will get the job done. Well, here it is, the last day of Saylorsburg for the 2024 season. Got a few things, did better yesterday, but Sundays haven't been that productive, and some folks set up. Got 1 or 2 more quick stops to make, and then I'm gonna be on my way out of here. Oh yeah, and it's like 28 degrees right now, and I am freezing. So, but there's always next year. A somewhat uncommon saw is this beastie called a stair saw. This was used for cutting the, making the mortises for putting stair treads into the stair risers. And this one's by the Atkins company. You see them by Distin, you see them by Atkins, you see a fair number of user-made ones, especially coming from overseas. I've had a few of those, but... And the blade is adjustable. Open the nuts there and then it can be pulled out so you change the depth of cut. The teeth are sharpened rip. Can't hardly see it, but they are sharpened rip. And this was in pretty decent shape. It was cleaned, of course. Somebody had painted their name on both sides. I managed to get rid of most of that, but a couple of dots of paint and stuff still on it. See, the finish is worn. Blade has got some stain, but it's relatively sharp. And what makes this one kind of on the hard to find size is the size. Most of the ones you encounter have a 6-inch blade. This one has a 10-inch blade, and I don't know the Distin made one with a 10-inch blade. I've never seen one, and this was actually the first one I've seen by Atkins with this blade, size blade in it. So, but I probably sold it too cheap, but it is sold, and so you'll have this. But again, you know, pretty hard to find saw. If you like to collect saws, this is one to keep your eye out for. Well, in the world of spoke shaves, this one here is right uncommon to the point of being rare, and that being a hollow-faced spoke shave. Now, I'm sure folks are familiar with their regular spoke shaves, like these in the pictures here, where the blade is either flat or a lot of times very slightly convex. And then we get the Tavishers, where the blade is very convex and used for making chair seats, specifically in windsor chair making, but other forms of chair making as well. But hollow-soled shaves like these primarily would be wheelwright. I mean, there's a style of them that are used for coopering, but I don't think this is a Cooper's. I do believe this more falls in wheelwright territory, shaping things like axles and larger spokes and you name it. But and this one was in pretty decent shape. Well, it does have some issues. The body's pretty good. Can't tell what kind of wood it is. I look kind of close and hard to say. Sole's got a little wear. The mouth is fairly good on it. The blade does have some issues. There is you can see it there. There's a little bit of a check right there on the one bend, but that's been there since it was made. And some frosting on this side and a little more on the other side. And somebody got creative with the use of these pieces of cut nails to keep the blade in position. But they work, and they came with it, and that's what it's leaving with. But, you know, I got to say, you know, you can find, 300 spoke shaves in a flea market, never see another one of these. And like I said, I went through my spoke shave pictures, and I know I've had at least one other, maybe two others in this style, but nothing shows up. It's been that long. So if you're looking for good collectible tools, they're still out there, but they are sure getting hard to find. And we're going to take a closer look at this guy here. This was made by the Charles P. Fay Company. It looks like a stair, right? Well, this was the original. It's got you can see the maker's mark there. It's got the Fay patent 319215, issued on June 2nd, 1885, for the design of the joint, which I've said before, but I'll say again, is probably one of the most important patents ever made, considering how many millions of these tools have been born with that. This also has a quick setting nut on it, which is Fay's patent 334764, January 26, 1886. And overall, this cleaned up pretty well. A little patina, but Geez, consider this guy's what, 138 years old? Not too bad. The quick set nut, if I can do this one-handed, because it does take a little kafutzing with. Yep, there it goes. Does work. Yay. And you can, where's this thread through? Work. Notice the fancy little end nut on there, on the screw there. Unlike the balls that Stair use, this one's got a little more class to it, but obviously from 5 feet away it just looks like another Stair. But it is a very important tool, considering that this was the tool that Stair and with their Fay pattern calipers. And Fay did buy out, or excuse me, Starrett did buy out Fay in 1887. And he went to work for them for a while. And he also went to work for Stevens for a while. And he kind of got around a bit. But the patent for these guys, he assigned to both Starrett and Brown and Sharp. I guess he really didn't care who was using it as long as he was making money on it. But and it's unfortunate because 10 years ago, this would have been a $80, $90 tool. And these days, well, not so much. And as of the time I'm recording this video, it's sold pending payment, but we'll see. But if it doesn't go, maybe I will put up the price on it and go a little crazy. Won't be the first time, right? But anyways, this is just a great collectible patented American tool. And here we have a somewhat uncommon Stanley tool. This is the number 31 angle divider. These come in two flavors, the 31 with the wooden body and a number 30 with a metal body, which I'll show you in a bit. And Justice Trout, Stanley's patent machine, was granted patent number 742528 on October 27, 1903 for the design of this tool. And that puts it 121 years since it was first released to the world. And this is used for laying out angles. The adjuster here keeps both arms at the same inclination. Now the number 30, which is shown in the pictures here, the back of the body has increments for remembering where your layouts were. It also has a metal plate at the bottom, which the wooden one doesn't have. I'm not quite sure what that's for, but hey, I fix them up and I sell them. I don't have to know how to use them 100%. But anyways, and this one's got the early Stanley logo mark, as you can see. It's also marked Stanley on the nut. And this one, I did clean this up a bit. I cleaned both of them up, but the arms aren't too bad. The shorter legs here have a little frosting and spotting, but backs are okay. But the adjuster works, as you can see. And I did have both screws out. Of course, it can be tightened down for transportation. I'll tell you what, these are kind of neat tools. They're kind of collectible tools, and I'll tell you, it's been a while since I last had one of these guys. And there comes a train, so time for me to sign off on this one. And that's all for this one, folks. As always, I hope you enjoyed my little presentation. I hope you learned something. And as always, if you like what you're seeing, please hit that subscribe button to be notified when new videos are posted. As always, thanks for watching, and bye.